In this problem, we have to find out that whether the middlemost or whether the middlemost in this problem we have to find out whether this plus q and this minus q, which are in between two charges, and in this system is stable equilibrium or unstable equilibrium. As we know that if there is a system like this system is an unstable equilibrium. Why? Because if this body is shifting from x equal to 0, then this body tend to go away from this body, and this kind of equilibrium is called unstable equilibrium. On the other hand, this equilibrium is a stable equilibrium. Why? Because if it is shifting away from x equal to 0, then it will tend to come back to the positions where it started from. So that's a quick revisions of stable equilibrium and unstable equilibrium. That means if the body is shifted slightly from the positions and if tend to come back to the original positions, then it's stable equilibrium, otherwise it's a unstable equilibrium. Okay, now let us see this one. This is the first one. Okay, what is happening over there? There is a plus q and there is another plus q, and there is a plus q charge inside, whatever this is also same charge. So if I'm shifting it to a distance x, what is happening? That the force applied by F1 is a repulsive force by Q1. And why is repulsive? Because both of them are positive. And there is another force F2, which is again a repulsive force, which is given by Q, this Q. Now which force is greater? Obviously F2 is greater because the distance between these two is much less. So F2 is greater. So the net force on this body will be towards the center. That means if the net force is towards the center, that means this body will tend to move back to the central positions. That means it's a stable equilibrium. So the first case is the body is in stable equilibrium, or the charge is in, the system is in stable equilibrium. Come to this one, the second case. There is a plus q, and there is a minus q. Okay, if I'm shifting it a small distance x, what will happen? That there is a attractive force this time, right? Unlike the previous one, this is a attractive force. This plus q will tend to pull it with F1, and this plus q will try to pull it with F2. Now which force is greater? Obviously F1 is greater than F2 because the distance between this point and plus q is less. So F1 is greater than F2. So there is a net force towards right. So that means it will go away. It has a tendency to go away from minus q, right, from the middlemost positions. So that means what will happen? That if we are shifting it a small distance x, it will tend to go away from minus q. That means it's a unstable equilibrium. So all in all, the first one is a stable equilibrium and the second one is an unstable equilibrium.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.